is it you pray for?
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 53rd episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Sam of the Infamous, and with me tonight are my co-host Lawrence Knight.
What's up?
And Nomi without you. Long time, Nomi.
I know, it's been like 10 minutes maybe since I last seen you, but it's been good. It's been good. Nothing's changed. I haven't gotten up from my chair yet until now.
Yep. For those wondering, I did dip in on Ryan's Friday Night Royal Rumble for a minute while I had a chance, just a few minutes ago, and we just wrapped that up. And so Nomi and I just popped over from there. So, how's everybody's week?
Tiring.
Yeah, that's the going theme. I, as you two know, I am a step closer to moving. Found a buyer for my home, so I have been working on that this week, along with some other stuff. And yeah, I mean, life is good so far.
Good deal.
Yeah, I got a free tattoo on Thursday. Yesterday.
Nice. Those are free tattoos are a bit of a mixed bag because sometimes you can get what you want, but sometimes it's you get a free tattoo in exchange for being somebody's practice canvas.
Yep.
And you get what they give you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's very true, but I got what I wanted, and let me see if I can just get a little closer. So
Here, let me put you full screen.
I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's a coffee cup.
Is that a coffee cup?
It is. And it says always late for church.
Nice.
I got it for free. And she had little stars with it too, so yay.
It's not the worst tattoo I've seen. It's definitely not the no. I'm saying as far as the subject matter, the actual coffee cup. That's funny. That's hilarious. I think the worst that I saw was somebody thought it was a good idea to get a top loading washing machine on their back.
Why?
So you can stay clean, I guess.
I don't know, so you can have top load.
That is a weird thing to get a tattoo of.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of tattoos, and some of them are outright bizarre, but a top-loading washing machine has got to be one of the strangest things I've ever heard of anybody putting on their body in ink.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds of stuff. I mean, you see the usual skulls and crosses. I mean, but I've seen some. Every once in a while, I'll see something weird. I'm just like, why would you put that on your skin forever and ever?
Right.
Zillage, weird flex. Flex. I mean, I could have gotten something basic like a girl. I could have gotten the stars tattoos right here, or the little infinity symbol or a snake. But no, I went with something more unique and more me. So yes, I like coffee, and I always have to go to either Dunkin' or Starbucks or Dutch Brothers before I go to church because I don't like church coffee. It's gross.
Maybe he was just telling people he was a top.
True.
Yeah, I guess there are other symbols for that, so I don't know why you would go with a washing machine, but
as long as you don't get an upside down pineapple. But if you do, stay away from me.
Yeah. So let's say hello to the chat real quick. I see Shadow of Hawk. First is worst, second is best. No, second is the first loser, buddy.
Second is first place for loser, Shadow.
You
we also
feel right at home, buddy.
Yeah, as noted, we have Zillage. He says first time catching one of these, and we do stream pretty late on Fridays, so understandable, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
See Kohai with us tonight. Good to see you. Yep. I think that's who we have in chat at the moment. Am I missing anybody?
Probably a couple of lurkers.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Larry, what's on the agenda tonight?
Well, before we go into the agenda, hey, what's up, Clue? I just want to say that I hit a milestone tonight, a record that will probably not be broken for some time. I managed to hit both likes and comment first on tonight's stream and tomorrow's before
Yay!
anybody else.
That's just because I got a wild hair at my butt. So I'm up late last night having a conversation with Amir and Larry. And and then Amir goes to bed, and Larry and I are talking a little bit. And he's like, "I got to go to bed soon too." And he's like, "But we were going over the program a little bit for tonight." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll remember to set that up now instead of having to do it half-assed at ridiculous speed on my phone at work later because I forgot to do it beforehand." And while I did that, I figured I might as well set up Saturday's show too.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because that actually was the reason I wasn't in here quite as quickly is because I clicked on the wrong link and I was in the Saturday link.
But here's the thing, though. You would think that normally I would have waited around for him to do it, and then I would have done it immediately. I went to sleep, and I didn't do it until the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it was so far into the afternoon that I went on, and I was like, Kohai didn't catch this. Nobody else didn't catch these. So I was
By
like,
the
oh
way,
shoot.
Kohai, if you want to watch the Ryan stream that we were on earlier, there is a good clippable moment of Shadow saying he likes mystery man meat in his face.
That explains why when I got in there, Joker was like, "Oh, by the way, guess what Shadow likes?" And I'm
in
like,
his
I don't
face.
have any context for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and laugh anyway.
Yeah. It is comedy gold, I'll let you know. So Kohai, do your thing.
Here he is protesting his innocence. So when you say
Yes, you
mystery
did.
man meat in your face, are you talking like Russian bathhouse or?
I don't think he discriminates. He likes it raw, cooked, uncooked. It doesn't matter.
Actually, man, if we had that clip that Ryan played, Larry, you're very close onto what you're describing.
Yeah, it's funny too. Kohai brings up a point here. So Super Suka, one of our loyal subscribers, clipped out something that I had said on another stream. It was last week's show, actually, last week's Saturday show, where we were talking about Supernatural, and the villain of season 7 is a guy named Dick. And so there's a clip now of me saying I really like Dick.
and there's another moment
wrong,
right there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's awkward. Yeah, it is awkward, and I think Suka remixed it. He sent it to me too, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to use that, but somebody else will. So, but yeah. Anyway, memeable moments on the internet with Samuel and company.
So as you were saying, before we get into tonight, I am going to briefly go over next week. So guys, as you know, next week is the 27th. It's the last Friday of October. So we're all next week is John Carpenter. We're going to be going over some of his movies like Halloween, Big Trouble in Little China. Maybe even watch a clip or two and hope that the stream doesn't get taken down.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to plan out in advance. That's
we'll have to. We might have to watch some stills or something, and which we can always do because we'll also probably look at some Halloween fails videos or things like that. But next week is gonna be it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. 2 Minute Demon Memer Part 2. I was gonna do that next week, but I realized because of the content, it's going to take a little bit longer to write than I thought. Because I wrote one thing and then I realized that I actually put Samuel into a fight earlier than I thought I was going to, and it just came out better than I thought. So I was like, okay, well now I've got to do this, and now I've got to create different paths and different choices. And I was like, this is going to be as long as the other one. So I need more time. But yeah, next week's gonna be good. Tonight we've got some infamous news. I found some great stories, guys. In fact, to the point that I'm actually splitting it into two parts for tonight. We also gonna go over a story by H.P. Lovecraft called "The Thing at Your Doorstep" because it is a lead-in to tonight's feature movie that we'll be talking about and debating, which is John Carpenter's "The Thing," which Nomi informed me she will be watching next week, Sam, for the
Oh,
first time.
nice. It's a great movie. I think. I mean, you like horror movies, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you probably like this one. It's understated, but it's really excellent.
I've seen a little bit of it, but not in full because it actually does freak me out. But I'm going to have some company where I know I'm going to have to sit down and watch it completely without blinking. Because I might have to give an essay later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't recall exactly how long it is. I think it's a little over 2 hours, but not a lot over 2 hours. But yeah, it's really good. It's an excellent study in like paranoia and mistrust.
Yeah.
You know,
kind
and
of
some of the greatest
psychological work.
practical effects ever to come out of the 80s.
Oh, I remember that. Like it was so realistic, but it was so realistic that it was scary.
Yeah. Hell, Wookie. There's Joker voice coming in.
Hello, JV.
So, yeah.
That's JV.
But yeah, the when we get to the thing on the doorstep, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a mini refresher on that because I haven't read that one in a while. But I have read it.
I got the Cliff's Notes. I got the Cliff's Notes. And really, the thing at your doorstep, I'm using it just not a skip over for him, but just using it as a lead in to the thing. You know, just so people just know where the original story came from. So then when we kind of connect it to the present and with the more present story, which is the thing. But yeah, I think things are gonna go well tonight. So with that said, let's start things off. So as you guys know, we love bears. We love bears here at Abyssal Musings, and a Nomi-sized bear, which means it's very tall because bears are tall, but a Nomi-sized bear decided to break into someone's home because it was hungry. Caught a video stealing frozen lasagna out of a freezer.
What a jerk! That punk! How dare he?
Oh yeah. He got in there real good. He got in there real quick. Let's see what he's doing. Look at it. I don't know if that's Yogi.
That's a nice fridge too.
I don't know if that's the same. Well, it's almost the same kind of fridge I got. I don't know if that's Yogi or Boo Boo though.
It's probably one of the three bears that he followed, Goldilocks, back to her place. Like, she thinks she can come to my place and eat my porridge? Well, I'm going to eat her lasagna. Oh my God. He knows what he's doing. No!
That's kind of awesome. The bear's just like, I'm going to get me some frozen lasagna. Fuck you bitches, I'm out.
And the funny thing is, if it wasn't for the fact that there was a camera in the home, they would even. I guess they would figure that the thief came in through the window, but they probably wouldn't even guess it was a bear that did it.
He's doing it so casually too. It's like he's done it before.
In that house.
Yes, he knows his way. He's like, I'm gonna take a massive bear poop in the toilet and get myself food and head out.
You think this is revenge for all that, like, porridge is too cold, too hot business?
Probably. And that's why he left, because the bed was probably like too hard or too soft.
So here's what according to the article, what they're saying is, here, let me put it back up. According to the article, so the bear was in there for some time. The bear broke through a screen door and went to the kitchen, and 35 minutes later left through the kitchen window. So he took his time.
Yep, he knew what he was doing. He even left the kitchen clean. He didn't make a mess.
Yep.
Yeah, he basically he was rolling around in the covers, testing out the beds, seeing which one was right. Probably took a nap for about 10 minutes. You know,
Mhm.
used the bathroom, didn't flush, probably left the seat up.
He probably did. Look at that butt sticking out the window.
It didn't wipe. Now it's all over the
Nope.
sill.
Yeah. Ew, that's
Nice.
gross.
You can see him going. He went from room to room, as comfortable as I'm in my house.
See,
So he,
it is probably Baby Bear.
so he really did go. Oh, that's the best. My mom made me some lasagna, and I left it in the freezer, and the bear just, took it.
I'd be pretty pissed, honestly. Like, freaking bear took my mom's food that she made me.
I mean, I'd be probably shocked and then surprised and then aghast and then eventually angry because yeah, they took my food. But at first it'd be like there was a bear in my house and he was walking around like he not only knew the place but that it was his.
Right.
Like he
Right.
pays rent with
Yeah.
me. Who does he think he is?
Nobody. Oh, and by the way, JV, yeah, the story's already out on that. Kohai already knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. Nomi let the cat out of the bag on that. So and Shadow is I don't know. I don't see him in chat right now. He's probably licking his wounds or some mystery man meat.
Stop.
Shadow's
Hey,
doing whatever it is that he does in the shadows in the middle of the night.
Hey, Luke Castley, way to come in at exactly the
Why?
wrong moment again.
Yeah.
Glad to see you, though.
So it was actually a very bad infection. So I got over it. And the crappy thing about it is that I started feeling the same effects that I had getting the infection 2 days ago. It's like, absolutely not. I'm going to go on vacation. I don't want this right now. I took 2 cloves of fermented garlic and I feel a lot better. Fermented garlic, y'all. If you feel like you're getting sick, take it and you'll feel better within like an hour. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
If you don't gag on
Yeah.
it, did you drink?
I turned it into a lemonade. So I made a garlic honey lemonade.
Okay.
And I just powered through it because you could taste like it's very sour, but you can still taste the honey. So what I did, I just threw that bad boy into a blender with a little bit of honey. I diced up some lemons with the skin on it too, put in the blender, pureed that crap, and chugged it.
Nice.
Yeah. Real quick before we move too much further. So Luke Castley did a live stream with Maggie, the substitute teacher, the other night, and
She does them every week. They do them every week.
And this was kind of an AMA kind of ask us anything kind of deal.
Yeah,
and,
every week.
So I popped in with a question, but it was a joke, right? Like the real question is why Lou keeps putting up with me. And she spent 5 minutes giving this channel and the people on it such a glowing recommendation. So thank you very much, Lou.
Oh, Lou,
much appreciated.
That's sweet girl.
You know what? Hey, Lou, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you've heard of them, but Netter's Network is looking to bring more people on. They love to showcase channels and help people grow their channels. So I mean, if you would like for us to get in touch with Netter herself or get you in touch with her, your content is definitely something that she and Troy would want to push to the moon. They would likely love to have you on, especially with what you're doing. I know they would love to have you on.
Yeah, just email me or Larry or DM us on Twitter or something like that. We can absolutely put you guys in contact. I'm actually having Troy on as a guest on my Sunday show this weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Netter and Troy are the Joker's right. They are outstanding people, and believe me, I mean, when I went on there, what was it, 3 weeks ago, and people just started subbing to my channel, and I'm still in the midst of moving and doing all the stuff that I'm doing, so I haven't even had a chance to make a video yet because of all the stuff that's going on, and people still sub to me because they asked them to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
JV's got his number. Yeah, JV, if you could could do Luke Casely a solid and get in contact with Troy, appreciate it. Um,
Well, we can handle that too. It's
Yeah.
either way, however, if she wants to get in touch with them. Also, speaking of putting people out front and center on the YouTubes,
Yep. I say
Caucasian
now
Sasquatch.
every day, Naomi's getting close.
Every time.
It's his favorite song. It has my name in it.
To beat
Yeah.
my ass with her toaster.
Or chancla.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Caucasian Sasquatch also does a show called Sasquatch Chills, where he takes smaller, lesser-known channels, and he does a brief interview with them and showcases their earliest stuff and their most popular stuff, and just generally has a conversation. And it's a lot of fun. I actually did that with him last week myself. He'd been trying to get me on for like 9 months, and we finally found the right time to do it.
Well,
so.
I've been trying to get Sasquatch on Abyssal Musings for the past 9 months.
What the heck?
I haven't told him that, but I was trying.
I mean, you kind of got to tell him.
I don't know if it's too late for him. You know, the man, he is a busy man, so I don't know if it's something he wants to do. He's always welcome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Joker. Yeah, I will. I'll send you your channel link. Yeah, but yeah, good people. The Pacellis and Caucasian Sasquatch do a lot of good work, basically promoting everybody but themselves. So yeah, go give their channels all subs. They're good people to know.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, I think that's all I got on that.
Next up, did you hear about this?
Martial artist punches 7-foot cake. Oh, I've seen like the partial video of it. I haven't seen it all. Yeah.
I think I did see the video, but it was in passing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the video's giving. I mean the heading is giving the quote unquote martial artist more credit than he actually should have got. I mean, it was a valiant effort, but from what I was reading was that the kangaroo got the better of him really quick. What he did manage to do was take his dog's place in getting his butt kicked by the kangaroo, but he managed to get himself and his dog away. So I guess that's a victory. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with this kangaroo. I mean, he's pissed about something, but we'll.
I'm gonna punch your f***ing head in. Look at my dog.
Yep. And make sure we don't get feisty clip was shared across social media. Why does this look like a prison scene? Now, my question is, if the kangaroo was 7 feet tall, why did the guy look so? Well, I guess it was leaning. Maybe it wasn't standing all the way up, but either the guy was 7 feet tall or dang. You're like, come on, punk. Come on. Yeah, that dog knows better.
I would like to encounter a kangaroo.
I wouldn't. Good luck with that, Nomi.
I've eaten kangaroo.
If you've eaten at Jack in the Box, well, I'm not going to throw any. If you eat at a fast food restaurant, you probably have. Especially like the late 80s, early 90s, you probably did eat kangaroo.
No, I mean like last year.
Oh, well, did you like it?
No, it's not good.
Did you at least improve your jumping ability eating it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that, Larry. I know the Maori think so, but it
It
really
didn't
doesn't.
it didn't give you any kangaroo powers. That stuff.
No, it just was kind of dry, sort of gamey marsupial meat. It wasn't great.
I bet.
So,
Did you put some A1 sauce on it?
Yeah, no, because I wanted to taste the full flavor of the meat because I like exotic meats, but it just didn't. It wasn't good. But now I can say I've eaten kangaroo, so I've eaten all kinds of things. Had camel, I've had multiple kinds of
Rattlesnake.
reptiles. Yep, rattlesnake's one of them. I've had python. I've had gator and crocodile. I've had snapping turtle.
Good. I hate
And-
those bastards.
Yeah. So, I've had mountain lion.
Nice.
Wow, mountain lion.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't stand them either. They deserve it.
Mountain lions?
Heck yeah.
You like exotic?
Mountain lions are
They
they're some
carry.
punks. Mountain lions are some punks.
I mean, yeah, they come down from the mountains and just kind of eat your family dog or your
Or
cat.
Or you. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't
Like,
have that problem.
It's funny how like people think of mountain lions and they think like, I mean, it's a big cat, right? But it's not like tiger big, which is true. It's not tiger big. It's still people big.
Yeah.
Yes, tigers are twice the size of mountain lions, but that doesn't mean mountain lions are small animals. There was one
they're not.
running
They're not
around
small
the
at all.
Black Hills when I lived over that way that was terrorizing places. And there was a rancher lady who shot it. And I got to see the body, and that thing's head was twice the size of mine.
Mm-hmm.
They're not small.
No, they're not.
I found there's a little town, maybe like a 2-hour drive from where I live, and they have antelope meat, and I want to try it.
What kind of antelope?
I'm not sure. I know that they were exported from Africa here to like help with the grazing. So I know they have like
Okay.
the
So like an ibex?
Yeah, ibex. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's better. I was going to say if it was like the High Plains pronghorns, do not eat that meat.
Why?
It's awful.
Okay.
Awful. Okay. So pronghorns live their entire lives in a constant state of adrenaline and fear. It taints the meat. There are only 2 times during the day where you can kill one if you catch it off guard, that its body isn't flooded with adrenaline. And that's at dawn and at dusk when they're resting.
Mhm.
And that is the
Okay.
only time, because any other time they're gonna taste like the meat is tainted, like it's poisoned.
Because they have all that adrenaline in them. Got it.
Yes. So yeah, if it's pronghorn, like no, it's not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have ibexes where I live, so they definitely prance around, do whatever.
Yeah. So
I don't like
Or
to-
you can do what you can do what this bear does. Just wait
think you're
until
right,
it's
Kerry.
already. Just wait until it's already ready. Bear caught on video crashing family barbecue, feasting on 10 burgers and a Diet Coke. Well, at least he's watching his diet.
I mean, that sounds like me.
I don't think the Diet Coke is gonna make up for 10 burgers.
You gonna tell him that?
No, I'm not dumb. I'm not getting near that thing.
There's aspartame.
You hear what she said?
Just like me for
She's like, there's aspartame in that.
real.
Should we throw something?
Yeah, you're not. Well,
Oh, he's about. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's the
hey, oh shoot!
Oh,
You freaking jerk! Get away!
And there's more than one bear.
That bear's like, hey, this is good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I have false confidence in me that I'm like, I could totally go out there with like a broom and be like, hey, no, that's my picnic. Go away. You didn't buy this meat. It's expensive.
Yeah.
You have a good life living in the forest. I don't.
Right?
I have to pay taxes.
Have you had bear meat?
Zillage, brown bear, yes. Black bear, no. But I was a kid when I had brown bear. I don't really remember what it tastes like.
Now,
if
this
that
next
answers the
one,
question.
before I show this next one, Sam, anything you want to tell us?
Just do it.
So, a dog named Sam has been going around biting the hell out of tenants in this building. I'm pretty sure that's you.
Dang. If it was any lower, that man would be
Oh,
on
yeah.
the floor.
Yep.
Não, faz, na durmena, curva é que gosto qualquer cheia de curva de dobre, de
Yeah.
There's Sam again.
Yep. Go for them butt cheeks. Oh man. I could see Carrie doing that though. So this is one, I think I'll show you this because I think this can wait until next week because I was very interested in this one. So is this is a slideshow of all of the scary creatures and urban legends by country. So as you see over here, that's La Llorona. That's
That's my
Nomi's
girl.
experience. Yeah.
Yoris, where you at?
She's a bit of a ghost, though, right? I mean, that's not really cryptid.
She's a ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that wouldn't be like a chupacabra or a skunk ape or champy.
Or
It's scary enough. She's killing people to take their kids. That's scary enough.
I get that. But there's ghosts and demons and shit all over the world too. But if you're talking like, cryptid, I mean, I don't know. It says boogeyman up there in the top, so I don't know.
Iterations of the boogeyman in almost every country. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, that would make sense then.
This would take a while to go through, man. I think I really want to save this and I want to do some research on this and probably I think there's enough material here to actually do a show and even do some quiz a quiz or two on them. At least
we
one.
could probably, yeah. I don't know. This is maybe something we want to keep on file. Maybe we can do a show in early November on cryptids.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we'll I also think this is something that we could probably add have some people on the panel, maybe like JV or Lou or somebody, Ryan, if they're interested in coming on. But yeah, there's so much, and this is just page 1 of 8.
Yeah.
So this is definitely worth framing a show around. So I'm gonna save this, and I'll save that, and we'll get back to it. Which brings us to the next thing, which is one of Sam's all-time favorite.
Zillage, don't poke the dog.
Down, Carrie. I'll give you a biscuit.
Yeah, actually, that's a good call there too. Like, we probably should reach out to Caucasian Sasquatch guys, an encyclopedia of cryptid.
Okay.
So yeah.
And honestly, I mean, we've never had Carrie on Abyssal Musings, have we?
He doesn't really do a lot of panels.
Well, you and I both know why. I mean, he is chained to an engine block on a certain feline's plantation. So, at all times, in fact.
Yeah. Dude, Carrie, did you just time out Zillage? What the fuck?
Like I said.
I told you not to poke the dog, man.
Oh, by the way, and here I'm gonna put it in a private chat. I actually stumbled onto this by accident, but somebody did they did a website, and it's a archive of H.P. Lovecraft's works. It's his life, his writings, creations, his study, pop culture, internet resources. I mean, this person, as of and they revised it last month on the 17th. So I mean, whoever created this site has put a lot of effort and was also, I guess, smart enough to put a button there that says donate on it. But this person is definitely dedicated and put in some serious work.
Yeah, there are a number of scholars of weird tales, and specifically of authors like Howard or Lovecraft or whatnot. In the same way that there are people who are scholars of Tolkien. Obviously, Tom Shippey is the most famous of them and probably the most knowledgeable in person in the world on Tolkien stuff. But there's a pretty active community of hobbyists and researchers who are pretty a lot more knowledgeable on the guy than I am.
Well, that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Really, I did not know that. I don't watch a lot of Odin's stuff because, like he's really big on the numbers, and numbers are boring for me. So just I don't watch a lot of stuff. I like the guy plenty, but I haven't watched a whole lot of his channel. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll reach out to him some point and see if he wants to come on and talk a little bit Lovecraft. That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, just for me is I wanted for Abyssal Musings, guys. Well, we had just October was kind of a refresh and a major just restart of getting back to, we were pushing that drive of getting back to what we wanted to do. And we improved on it. We have the amazing Nomi with us, you know, and even though Nomi would be like, she could be half asleep and you would never know. I'm just kidding.
My microphone wasn't working because I was on my iPad.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I'm not accusing you of ever being half asleep. I mean, we all know who that is on this panel, who is falling asleep on this panel. And guys, I'll out myself, guys. There's times where we've done shows, and 5 minutes in, I was out cold, and when I woke up, Sam was saying goodbye to you guys.
Yeah. There have been at least 3 shows where Larry picked a topic that he knew I was just going to start talking on and keep going, and then he goes to sleep.
Yep. because he knows we're going to have like a 40-minute powwow with your story. So I'm like, let's just take a nap.
and it wasn't even on purpose. It's just that, when you know how to know me, okay, like when you do something all day, especially when you got kids, and you just sit down and then your body decompresses, and next thing you know, the room starts spinning, and and then boom, you're out.
Yeah, so when Larry feels that shit coming on, he's like, I know, we'll just pick something that I know Sam's just gonna keep going on for a while.
No, that's no, because that would mean that I premeditated it, and I actually create the show. This show I start at the beginning of the week, so when I pick those topics, I really just lucked out, and we just happened to have people on the panel, guests on the panel that saved my rear end. I think the last time was Clue. Like I got on there and I was fine, and just like 5 minutes into the show, just everything just went black. And something that you guys probably don't know about me and Sam is both of us suffer from insomnia. And there's been times, those times where I fell asleep during the show. I know one particular time I was up for 28 hours before and didn't realize it. And then, because like I said, you're just doing so much and running around and doing the things that I was doing and stressing and going blah 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 and going through all that stuff. And then when I got everything done and my body just reacts, boom, I was out.
Timeout's over for Zurich. Swinging.
He bit me. Rude.
hey, you know what? We should have like somebody draw a photo of a dog, of Carrie as a dog, maybe like a pit bull or a Rottweiler or something. Well, Rottweilers are black, so I guess that would have to be me or Zillage. But like I don't know, maybe like a pissed off Great Dane or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could stick the DeForest Kelly head with the little digital sunglasses on like a Rottweiler's body or something.
or a Jack Russell. A Jack
Yeah.
Russell.
Oh,
Little rat terriers.
actually, I could probably do that. So
Or like
I like to leave that up to Kohai though, because I always enjoy seeing what she comes up with.
oh Lord, she's probably gonna have him pregnant with like a reindeer hybrid child.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah. So Kohai, if you're still in chat, there you go.
All right. So getting back on. So the thing on your doorstep. So
On the doorstep.
well, it's on your doorstep this time, Sam, because I'm dumping this on you. So 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 what I've noticed during my research is so apparently this story is separated into 7 chapters.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay. Basically the main character kills his best friend in the first chapter, and then starts out by telling you he did.
Lovely.
Kind of thing. And
Anger issues.
I do have some notes in front of me, guys, because I don't remember the story that clearly. So, like just full disclosure. Yeah. So, so he does that dude named Daniel Upton, and he's the narrator too. And that's another thing about Lovecraft is that a lot of times it's written in the first person, and the narrator is who the events are unfolding to or who's being told to. And specifically the ones who are going through whatever's in the story usually come out insane or dead by the end of it, or what have you. And it kind of creates an unreliable narrator sort of situation, because if they are going crazy, you don't know how much of what they're telling you was a delusion or they fabricate all of it. Some of them are really bad people, so they might be lying. You never know. And so it kind of lends an air of like, did this really happen, or did this happen the way this guy's saying it's happening, kind of thing. And your main character Daniel here, he starts out by saying that he just killed his best friend, a dude named Edward, and he hopes that his account will prove that he is not a murderer. So he starts telling the story of what happens. It's like, this is one of those like the events have already unfolded, and this guy is writing down his account of what happened so as not to get sent to the gas chamber or whatever. It wasn't the gas chamber at the time. Probably he was going to be hanged. So chapter 2, he starts talking about another character and how who was the wife of his friend, and all their wedding and stuff. It skips to chapter 3. There's a time jump. People start to notice that there's a change in his friend's behavior. The one who's dead, the one he killed. And he starts talking strange stories about the wife, whose name is Asenath, by the way, which is not like a usual name even for the time. And she had her father apparently is rumored to be dead, but may not actually be dead, like everybody thinks he is. So there's kind of a lot to unpack here. Chapter 4. Main character gets called to pick up the dead one, and who was found in like rambling around in the wilds of Maine, mumbling. On the way back, he tells a story of the wife using his body and suggests that it is in fact Ephraim, who is the father, who resides in the body of Asenath. And I guess he has a seizure. God, I really don't remember this story at all. I know I've read it. Must not have made that big of an impression on me. So, dude has a seizure and changes personality, and asks his character to ignore everything that he just said about his wife and about, being invaded by the spirit of his wife's dead father. And it's a weird fucking story.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
So, and we're about halfway through the synopsis. So, In chapter 5, it's a few months after that. Dead guy shows up at the narrator's door and says he's found a way to keep his wife away to stop her from using his body. And it's, yeah.
As you guys see, this is pretty much. This is
It's
why. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's kind of about possession and like, to use a term that's overused today. There's a bit of gaslighting here, and like in the actual sense of the term, not the oh, somebody said something I didn't like.
Like, no, they're actually using gas on you and lighting you.
Hey,
Yes,
Suka,
Rich, the thing.
yeah, no, that is in fact a different.
It's inspired.
It's not.
I think
They're not. But they're unrelated.
I don't care.
Nothing to do with each other, man.
Well, they do if I say they do. So.
So
no, but it just reminded me of the theme. Just some common themes with it as far as possession and things like that because of what the monster does. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. Well, this has more to do with, like, necromancy and, like, possession by spirits than it does entities from beyond, kind of thing. So anyway, when we get to the last chapter, homeboy, the dead guy, is greeted by a small, bad smelling, short little dude who's carrying a letter from or I'm sorry, I got them mixed up. The main character is greeted by the letter carrier from the dead dude. The dead dude explains in the letter that he has killed his wife and buried her body. And despite that, the wife is still taking control of his body while he was hanging out in the madhouse, because, where else would you be after something like this? This is a little bit Telltale Heart to it, too. Yeah, it's... Okay, meaning that the thing on the doorstep was actually Derby, who's the dead dude inhabiting Asenath's liquidifying corpse. So the thing on the doorstep is the, short, gross-looking dwarf figure, and that's supposed to be the wife's corpse, who's inhabited by the spirit of his friend, who has apparently switched bodies with his wife, who is trapped in his body in a madhouse. So it's a whole thing. And then he's basically begging him to go and kill his body at the sanitarium, at the madhouse, kind of thing. So he and to cremate the body to prevent more possession. So our main character, he does this, and then he reveals at the end that he's afraid of having his soul transferred as well. So it's kind of a weird little story about, I don't know, maybe delusions, maybe not. Apparently his friend chose poorly in the wife department because she swapped bodies with him against his will. And I guess her dead dad was worked in there somewhere too. So yeah, it's a weird little story. Of all the ones that you picked, like that, it's one of the ones I don't remember very well, though, Larry. So yeah, I was again, full disclosure, chat, I was reading some of that, trying to refresh my memory a little bit from some Cliff Notes. So if it sounds like I didn't really know what I was talking about, it's because I kind of didn't.
It's okay.
So, but yeah, that's basically the gist of the story. Did Larry go to sleep?
Larry.
Oops, sorry, I was muted.
Yes, I know.
I was muted.
You can own up to it, Larry. We don't judge.
No, I was muted. I was sitting there talking and everything. I'm like, yeah, well, da da da. I'm like, okay, they didn't hear me. But no, man, it's okay. It's okay if you don't remember, everything. It happens.
The guy wrote a lot of stuff. Like, I showed you that volume that I have of his, right? And it doesn't even have every last thing in it. Things as thick as my face. And if you consider that very, very few of it was novel length, very, very little of it. I think he only wrote a handful of novels. The rest of it is all like short stories. And a few poems here and there. So, but yeah. No, I would recommend going and reading it. I'm probably going to reread it myself when I get the as soon as I get the chance, because now I'm curious. You know,
And that
for
is
some reason,
today's. Go ahead.
well, for some reason, I always get that because of the title, "The Thing on the Doorstep." I get it mixed up with Dreams in the Witch House for some reason, which is a completely different. Or no, not Dreams in the Witch House. The Whisper in Darkness is the one I get it mixed up with, which was the last story that he wrote before he died. And that one I remember pretty clearly. It involves alien fungoid insects from Pluto who steal people's brains and put them in a talking machine.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
So, but yeah, that one's good though. But yeah, that was our little. I don't know if review is the right word because again, like I haven't read that in a while and I don't remember it very well. So more of a synopsis, I guess.
Yeah, it was. It definitely gave me confusion. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You have to think on stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just like, wait a minute, okay. Yeah, like you said, necromancy and spirit possession and all that other stuff. That's. Yeah, I wonder if La Llorona does it. She doesn't do that, no me, right? Does she just use a knife
No, she just grabs you,
and
and
you
you're
just instantly dead?
and you're done for. Well,
But
she can bring you back to hell. When what happens there, that's to your imagination.
I always thought that La Llorona behaved a bit like the Kappa of Japan,
I don't
which
know
are
what
like
that is.
these. They're like these. Well, think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but take all the masks and padding off of them, and then their heads are also like concave bowls with water in them. They're basically like amphibious demons, and
Yeah.
they wait till you get close to the water, and then they snatch you and they drag you in with them. Or the
Yeah.
Kelpie of Scottish legend, which is sort of a water horse that does the same thing.
Well, yeah. She drags you to hell. She drags you to water. She just wants you dead because she wants kids, and she'll steal your kids.
You know what? All that stuff she does, you would think that she would have the power to revert you back down to infancy or down to a child, and then just re-raise you.
You know how hard witchcraft is, Larry? You have to learn the spells. You have to practice them. You have to use it on test subjects. Might as well just steal kids. It's easier.
But she's dead, so she got nothing but time.
Well, that's the thing about being dead is that you don't have to go through the same rituals that the living do.
Yep.
To achieve the same results.
She probably got bored of just, practicing.
Well, if I remember right, doesn't the story say something about she was a widow who was in some trouble or some shit, and then she ended up like killing her kids to keep them safe, but it sort of cursed her.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's pretty dark.
Mm.
So,
Yep. That's what lonely women do. They'll do something super irrational, and then they regret what they've done.
right.
That's scary.
At least the Kappa are straight up demons.
I thought they were like a spirit fraternity or something. You call them Kappas.
No, Kappa as in the Japanese word, not Kappa as in the Greek letter. Different thing. There's only so many sounds that the human tongue makes.
La.
Joker's voice, it's complicated.
It's definitely complicated.
That depends on specifically what you're trying to accomplish, what the ritual itself is, what you're working with. There's a lot of variables that go into that, and the tenfold thing that's pretty extreme. Most of the time, it's not any greater than 3. Sometimes 7. Tenfold is pretty freaking extreme. It does happen, yeah, you're right, but it's not super common unless you're a friggin' Leviant Satanist, and then that's all they deal in is absolute. So because they're nuts. Yeah. But anyway, sorry to get off the topic there a little bit.
No, you're fine. I knew there was something missing. There was a news report. So there's a couple of news reports that we have right now. They don't I don't have videos of them, but they're photos. The first thing is, so apparently somewhere in Nebraska, a kitten was found, and the kitten had an unusual strain of rabies.
Okay.
And they're saying that this strain of rabies hadn't been in the area for 20 years. So I'm not sure if that's unprecedented. I mean, 20 years in the grand scheme of things, 20 years is not a long time. It goes a lot. It goes by faster than people think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
well, some family took in the kitten, and lo and behold, would you know, the entire family got diagnosed with rabies. They all caught it from this kitten.
Well, that's what usually happens when you pick up a stray kitten that has rabies.
Yeah.
My mom would beat us if we brought home an animal with rabies.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we were always told to stay away from the friendly animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mother and my sisters never learned that lesson. They brought a stray cat in. The cat was at our door. Didn't say anything to me. I come out and I'm like, "You guys are gonna regret that." No, we're not. Shut up. You're just a man. You know what you're talking about. We all went out somewhere. Maybe about a week later. Well, about 2 weeks later. Come back. There's the cat and about 6 kittens. Cat was pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say a similar story, but a similar story with the pregnant kitty. With my time during college, I made really good friends with another two other girls who were homeschooled, and we bonded together. Like, we're homeschooled, yeah. They were living in student housing, and they would have like drawing parties or just movie watching parties, and I would go over. And I came one night, and then there was a big chunky kitty there. I was like, oh, cool. Like, you guys got a cat. They're like, oh, no, she just is a neighborhood cat, or just she followed us one day from class, and she never left, so we fed her, and she just likes to eat a lot. She's really heavy. I was like, oh, okay. My time living on a farm growing up, and I've had I know a good amount of cats, knowing about them. So I lifted her up, and I was like, oh no. So I'm just rubbing her belly, and I feel it as like, oh, she's pregnant. And they're like, oh, cool. Like, we'll take care of her. It's like, are you sure? Like, stray pregnant cat, don't know where she's been. That's kind of dangerous a little bit. They're like, no, we'll take care of her. It's like, all right. So the sister wasn't there when all that conversation had happened. I was in the restroom, and my friend Crystal came home, and her sister Casey went up to her with the cat. And I didn't see this, but I was told this. Went up to her sister Crystal with the cat, and she's like, Nami says she's pregnant. And Crystal, as soon as I came out, Crystal's like, oh, congratulations! I was like, then I went to the restroom. I mean, I know how to control my movements. She's like, no, Casey told me you're pregnant. It's like, the cat is pregnant. It's like, oh, but Casey told me that you're pregnant because she said that you told her. It's like, okay, like, I know you guys are homeschooled and you guys are more sheltered than I was. You need to know how to read each other. But yeah, I had to kill that again. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I would have rode that out. I would have went and got one of those stomach things to make it, because you could have really milked that for like attention.
Why would I do that? Like, me during college, and like in the area that I live in, it is heavily known for women younger than me to be pregnant. Yeah, and I would love to be a parent someday, but I kind of don't want to be the statistic here of be
You'd like
pregnant and a wedding. And then a
yeah,
wedding.
you want a family,
I do want like a family.
and a family includes a husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
And
got you.
then yeah. And then it's just two, yeah. And then I don't want the questions of like, who's the baby daddy? When are we having a baby shower? And I know those girls well enough for them to ask me, when would you like to have a baby shower? And I don't want that. Not yet, at least.
Yeah. That's fair. I was one of those guys who never really wanted children. This is part of the reason, by the way, that my kids don't know what my channel is called or where to find it or anything like that, because only one of them is a legal adult yet. But before I had them, I had always planned to never have children, and some of it was just because I was afraid I was going to be a terrible father. You know, I mean, terrified of it. Like the idea of it scared the crap out of me. And the last thing I wanted was to be responsible for another life and then fuck it up. So I kind of avoided that, and plus I don't really like kids.
Kids can be jerks, man.
Well, it's not even the nice ones. I just don't really care for them. So even to this day, if they're not my kids, I kind of don't want to be around them. So, but it was just one of those things. I was dead set against it, and some of it was, of course, a little spiteful because, my father and his father before him were all assholes, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Their line dies with me, which is petty in kind of a biblical way, but. I met a woman and, hit it off and all that stuff. And I don't know, it's just at some point I changed my mind about that. And I don't even think there was a conscious decision. I didn't like sit down and be like, okay, I'm choosing this. It so much as like some kind of switch or something went off subconsciously. Next thing you know, I got kids, and I don't know, greatest blessing I've ever had in my life. I mean, the ex-wife, not so much, but the kids, I'm always going to be grateful to her for. And
she
and
gave
it was
you something you didn't know you need.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens, isn't it? He's like something that you didn't even want, and as it turns out, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. So that is what it is. I don't know. Now that I'm getting all sappy on you guys.
Oh,
I
the
blame Nami.
little Cthulhu god just loves that he has kids. Little Cthulhu's running everywhere.
His tentacles have gone soft.
Look, I'm not ashamed of that. I love my kids.
No, we need
Nothing
more
wrong with that.
squidlings.
Yeah. No, Carrie, it was the ex-wife herself. Yeah. Yeah, the ex-wife herself. I mean, her family's, a lot of them are not great either. Some of them are, like her oldest brother, I get along with great. I love that guy. He's awesome. Her parents, not so much, but yeah, the problems were mostly with the ex-wife herself. So.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to give your ex-wife a nice gesture, you could hook her up with one of these guys.
Why would I hook her up with anybody? Bitch deserves to die alone.
And he's back to normal.
There's this man we love.
So
that's why my kids don't have this channel, by the way. So I don't hear me say shit like that.
Fair.
Yeah, you probably wanted to hear that. But yeah, so I found this article and I thought it was kind of funny because Japan Airlines, they loaded up a bunch of sumo wrestlers and the airline kicked them off because they were too heavy.
Paddle diapers.
Yep.
It's good to have you back, Juan.
Yeah, hey Juan. But yeah, let's see if I don't know if okay. Yeah, they had to book an extra flight. They were going from Tokyo to Osaka to attend the special national sports, whatever. How many of them went that two Boeing 737s would be able to
Don't
carry?
those seat like 200 people?
Yeah, but what they were saying in the article is that each sumo wrestler was at least 100 pounds heavier than the average airline, average traveler. So all of them combined, and they didn't have a scale. They were like, well, shoot. They took a look at all of them, and they were like, we don't know if the plane will even take off because of these guys.
Good night,
And they were
JB.
worried about fuel.
Bye, JV.
Bye, JV.
And then also, like, they have to do a weight distribution on the flights too, like, because there's suitcase, like the luggage, the weight of the luggage, and the weight of them, so they have to make sure like the plane won't be lopsided.
That's a lot of crack.
Yeah, it is.
Don't do crack, folks.
That's a deep one. That's a
Crack
deep.
kills.
Look at this guy right here. He's like, oh shoot, I'm on video.
See, here's the thing too, is like you look at these guys and you're like, oh, they're super fat. No, they're not toned, but that's mostly muscle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're very, very strong.
Yeah. They're the equivalent of like football players. You see some
Yeah.
chunky ones, but they can
Yeah,
ram you
yeah.
down.
And like they're not like toned up like bodybuilders, but they do, you know, a lot of that bulk is muscle, and that allows them to be able. Because if you've ever watched a sumo match, right, it's exhausting just to watch because these guys are huge,
Mhm.
you know, and they'll throw each other around like it's nothing. And if it was just fat, then a match wouldn't last 20 seconds.
Oh no, because they'd run out of breath.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're very, very strong, and all that. It's a little upsetting to look at from that angle, is all.
Yeah. So yeah, I told you it was about weight distribution.
Yeah.
Well, if they were all in the same weight class, and if there were even number of them, you'd think you'd be able to work it out.
Right. You would think so, but it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah. So I don't know.
This next one is so did you Naomi, did you hear about that
I meant what I said. I missed one. She's got this pun game that's just like, it's out of this world. It's unreal.
E Honda, yeah. She knows a Street Fighter. But Naomi, did you hear about that fight that broke out in the Texas court? With some guy that admitted to deleting his 16-year-old girlfriend.
And
But
how
yeah,
old was the guy?
20.
Of course he was.
No.
Yeah, but the mother of the victim approached him, and she called him a monster. And for some reason, his mom thought it was a good idea to attack her. But yeah, all hell broke loose.
Everywhere we go, voters tell us they're confused
Everywhere
about
we
issue
go.
1. So Fran and I have carefully studied.
There we go.
Come on, Mama. Throw some hands.
Yeah, I can't. And then a scrum breaks out on the other side.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I publicly I have to say that I don't condone vigilante justice, but fuck that guy.
I mean, a full-on fight between the families. And you know what? What I found is that normally when the families of the victims, when they have these kind of outbursts, they almost never get arrested. You know, and if I'm one of the bailiffs, like, I can understand. You can understand why somebody gets upset like that.
Yeah.
The guy he was found guilty. I believe he got 43 years, I think.
Okay. Good on Texas. Yeah, she did plan throwing hands one, and I'm here to see it.
I mean, that bailiff was on point, but there's usually only 2 bailiffs in any given court situation. So this is why they put a lot of courtrooms in the same buildings where they have like a sheriff's department or a local PD or something like that, just in case. So I mean, that bailiff stepped up and he was right there to stop her. But as was his job, I don't have an issue with that. Although, frankly, if I was him, I might have been a little slower on purpose. Let her get 1 or 2 good shots in first.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, let me just kind of run over there. Cool, got a hit. Okay, let me take you off of him.
Yeah. Conversely, though, there's another issue with that, and he may have just been trying to prevent her from getting hurt too.
True.
Because handcuffed or not, dude could probably have done some damage to her if he had wanted to, and if she came within range.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, the other thing too is, well, first afterwards she apologized for quote sparking the fight, but I don't think she needs to. But also, I think she should know. So he got 45 years in prison. Um, it might bring her some solace to know that he's probably not going to live anywhere near long enough to enjoy that 45 years because, bro, you were dating someone underage, and then you deleted her. So, um, I mean, as we've always heard, guys that do that, they don't last very long. And he's in Texas, so
yeah, I mean, even the worst, the worst people on death row, I mean, I don't mean the very worst, obviously, because in this case it doesn't really work out. But even some of the worst people, murderers, they'll leave serial killers alone because serial killers are scary as shit. But people who harm kids, there's definitely a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And even those, even like multiple murderers, look down on those guys as scum.
And that's why most of them get killed in prison, because the real tough guys in prison, like, oh, you like to do this with kids? Guess what?
Yep.
You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and if he ends up being your roommate, your cellie, if you don't do something to him, they're gonna do something to you. So, oh well. I would say sucks to be him, but I have no.
Shouldn't have done what he did.
Exactly. Exactly. So I have no sorrow for him. Now,
he shouldn't have been messing around with a 16-year-old in the fucking first place.
Exactly.
I know that in a number of states, 16 is the age of consent, and I understand that that's a legal thing. It's still immoral as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, even when I was 20, there's no way in the world I'd been with a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if it was, if we didn't see it as morally, there's still in that 4 years there is an experiential gap that makes certain things, certain discussions, certain topics of conversation just completely unrelatable between two people who are that far apart at that age. Because as you get older, right, as you know, right, if I were to I mean, I'm coming up on my my mid to early 40s here. If I were to marry somebody 10 years my junior now, it would be less of a gap in experience and in knowledge and all of that stuff than it would be if I were 18 dating a 15-year-old. That gap is much bigger when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Personality wise, maturity wise, yeah. Hey, I mean, 18, you're still learning stuff, but there was I used to always say there's a huge difference between 16-year-old Lawrence and 18-year-old Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference in the way I thought and processed things, the way I acted towards others. I mean, as soon as I hit 18, the fights at school stopped because I knew right then and when I woke up that morning, I was like, if I do what I could have done yesterday, what would have got me a slap on the hand would put me in handcuffs, and I wouldn't be going to juvie.
Right. And that's, I don't know. It's just kind of so like, even if there wasn't anything immoral about it, man, it's still there's just certain facts of life you can't get around. Yeah. And all that. But the fact is I do consider that morally wrong. So he shouldn't have been in that position in the fucking first place.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. Fuck that guy. I hope he gets ass raped every day for the next 17 years.
Can you say that word on the internet?
I just did.
Yeah, yes, I think he can. So, I mean, I'm not gonna shed a tear for him. So it is what it is. But yeah, moving right along. So somebody decided to resurrect the old clown joke. Apparently, this guy is Scottish, so I can only imagine what the accent sounds like when he's, when he's doing this thing. But apparently, this guy's on Facebook, daring the police to come and catch him, and he's dressed as Pennywise, the dancing clown. You guys want to see?
Do you want the balloon edible, Sonny?
Yeah, that's him. He's called the Skimmerly clown. I'm gonna see if I can find the video of him doing this. But yeah, he's out there. That's actually a very good outfit. I mean, you can tell that's the updated version of Pennywise. So police are aware of the videos, but have not received reports. I mean, what's he really doing? I mean,
we all flew down here, Sonny.
Come down here, Georgie.
It's Pennywise.
You fucking cow.
It's Pennywise. But yeah, apparently, I mean, maybe he's just trying to get a laugh for people. There's his face again.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, if he's just walking around looking like that and not actually doing anything and just creeping people out, he's not. Even in Scotland, I don't think he's actually breaking any laws.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he's terrorizing people, if he's actually going after him and like trying to scare the shit out of him and doing
if he's running
stuff like that, Scotland's pretty draconian in some ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe don't do that if you want to not end up in a fucking British prison.
Yeah, because if you're running after me looking like that.
Do you want a balloon, Georgie?
Well, he's gonna get something else. He's gonna get shot.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it in Scotland, but here, you did. He's breaking the law in Scotland, so you can't dress up and be like, "I'm on the corner. I have a balloon."
Yeah, like I'm not that familiar with modern Scottish law. I do know that some of it comes over just from the whole British thing, but some of the things that they're passing in Scotland are making it very, very restrictive to live there, particularly in the tax arena. But yeah, there's some other stuff going on. You can, in fact, be arrested for saying the wrong thing on the fucking internet. Yep. Just ask Count Dankula.
Yep.
What did Count Dankula do?
He taught his pug how to do the Roman salute.
That's right.
Wait a minute. What is the Roman salute?
Heil mein Führer.
Oh.
You didn't have to do it, Nomi. Jesus Christ. But yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I found it. I found the video.
Yay.
Do you want to see it? Oh, the clown. I thought about.
Yeah.
No. I was like, okay.
Yeah, F's in the chat for my channel.
F%. Hey, look, I didn't know that symbol. I didn't know it was called the Roman salute. I had no idea.
Yeah, the Nazis borrowed a lot of things from older cultures, particularly Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
including the salute.
One's giving us an F.
Yeah, that's
So
an F in the chat.
Because
for mourning our channel.
Yep, because I did something I shouldn't have done.
Yeah, because Nomi just got us tanked.
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Right. Let's see. Here goes.
Why would you even approach that?
Well, I've made the news again. Should I smile for the cameras with my hideous.
Oh, it's so weird with the Scottish accent.
That's what I'm thinking.
Should I smile for the cameras?
With my smile.
Or maybe Paulie's right. Perhaps I've gone away. Too much heat.
I'm going away.
What a stupid thing to say. To answer your question, yes, James, they do. If you come to visit, then you'll float too.
That's terrifying.
Fucking lock his ass up.
He gonna shove a balloon up James's. Where's Shadow at, man? He gonna put that balloon up Shadow's butt and help him float. Or bring him out of the shadows. He'll change his name to Sunlight.
Ronald McDonald.
The police have been informed. Do you think that I care? It's hard to catch me first anyway. And yes, that's a dare.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Why don't you leave the jokes to me? The only thing that's dying is your credibility.
About what?
Your
Why?
credibility.
Your credibility.
Look,
You
I
can tell this
love
guy's
the Scottish accent, but this is weird with the voice modulation.
So Stian and Sarah, don't believe what you're told. This clown doesn't want fame, glory, or gold. He just wants to play in this so-called sleepy town. So come and join in and learn to fear the scale-mully clown.
I mean,
I'm ready to like pop that clown, like not just the
Yeah.
balloon, but just you know what I mean.
yeah, it's a little weird. So it says you
Blather
can't
and
take
blather
it seriously.
I don't care.
No, I get that. There's like some people are really bothered by clowns. I'm not particularly bothered by clowns.
I
I'm
know
a
a
little
few that
weirded
are.
out by the voice modulation with the Scottish accent. That was strange, but clowns aren't really one of my fears, but they are a common fear. And it's probably because they're, inherently dishonest people. They paint smiles on their faces to hide the fact that they're really sad or angry.
Gacy didn't help with it. Gacy didn't help with that either.
Now, Gacy's one example of clownage gone wrong. I mean, have you ever heard the story of Pagliacci?
No.
Okay, so Pagliacci is an Italian opera about a clown named Pagliacci. Now, Pagliacci's wife was cheating on him with his friend. And while he was out at the circus making people laugh, even though he was dying inside, because Pagliacci was one of those tragic kind of figures. He finds out that his wife is cheating on him, which of course makes that worse, and he can't continue to go on and be the friendly clown in front of the crowds. It's just beating him down and beating him down and beating him down. And one day he comes home and he finds her, he catches her in the act with his friend. And he kills both of them, and then he kills himself. End of story. Italian operas, by the way, usually have a bummer ending.
Sounds
Yeah,
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to one. Beautiful singing. I mean, and I can't. I remember some of the details of it because I was in grade school. But I loved it. Made me love and appreciate operas. Yeah, the ending was tragic.
Mm-hmm. Hey, D-Day.
Hello.
Yeah, there's did you ever see or read Watchmen?
I saw the Watchmen.
Okay.
I did not like it. I was like, this needs to be like on Hustler
Right,
TV or
but-
something instead of.
Aside from that, so there's a bit in it where the character of Rorschach tells a joke related to Pagliacci, where he says, he's like, I heard a joke once. And then he tells a story, which is Pagliacci, this man who's sad. He goes to see a psychiatrist. And he tells the psychiatrist, I'm really sad. I'm depressed all the time. I'm despondent. I don't have energy. I can barely bring myself to get out of bed in the morning. And the psychiatrist says, I have the solution for you. The great clown Pagliacci is in town. Go see him. It'll bring you right out of your funk and perk you right up and make you feel better about being who you are. And the man says, but doctor, I am Pagliacci.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So,
That's very creepy.
anyway, that story is quite a bit older than John Wayne Gacy. Clowns have, in certain contexts, clowns have always bothered certain people, just their mere presence. You know, and in a lot of cases, it stems from, I don't know, maybe a bad circus experience as a kid or something like that. But sometimes they're just fucking creepy. My grandma used to paint by numbers like hobo clowns and shit. And she had stacks of those things just lying around the house. And yeah, you don't really want to be in a room with a bunch of pictures of freaking clowns that look like they were riding the rails. You know? So, but yeah, clowns are messed up. Carrie is telling me to check my email.
Yeah. So, but you know what? Look, if you think about it, though, I can understand why kids are afraid of clowns. And I have some younger little cousins. When they were kids, man, my uncle came in one day. He had this clown doll, right? And almost like a ventriloquist dummy. It was a really nice. It was a good sized doll. I never seen kids run that fast in my life.
Yep.
He had it
Uh,
sitting on the stairs. He thought they were gonna play with it. He's like, nephew, y'all just put it on the stairs right here, and because he has a lisp. He goes, the kids will, they'll love it. And I was like, that clown looks creepy. I don't think the kids are gonna, oh, nephew, it'll be all right. He went next door and knocked on the door and got them. When kids went over there, all you hear was, ah! I mean, we had to, we had to run down the street to get, we had to chase them down the street to get them.
Yeah. I do. I like clowns for the most part. I just didn't like the ones that my grandma did. But yeah, it can be a very scary thing. And then some people will just love them. They'll just, they'll be exactly what clowns are supposed to be for them, entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's all in the makeup too. It's all in the makeup, and as long as it's not too extravagant, you can
Fun.
still see the yeah. If as long as it's fun, that's one thing. But I've
Yeah.
definitely seen some clown designs, and it wasn't intended to be scary, but I was just like, yeah, yeah.
Well, here's where it gets really kind of off-putting. So no two clowns are alike. Every single one of them is different. It's actually considered extremely poor form and a kind of thievery to use another clown's face paint. Like, and I don't mean like their physical face paints, although that too, but like their design, because they don't consider that makeup. They consider it their actual face. And oftentimes, like, if clowning is something that is a generational thing in one's family, you pass that face on to the next generation.
I understand that. Yeah, because it's an identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, that's also where we get the term "send in the clowns." So when something goes wrong in a circus, right, during the show under the big top and the three rings, anytime they send in the clowns is usually because something went wrong, and they're there to distract the audience from what needs to be done to, like, say somebody fell off a trapeze and like broke their ankle on the safety wire or some shit like that. The clowns are a distraction to cover up that. To cover up things that went wrong.
Yeah, so they're supposed to cover up the wounds, not cause them. John Wayne Gacy.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea was to draw attention away from the stuff, so it didn't take away from me, because the show must go on. So
Right.
and they would also be sent in if a particular act was like losing the audience too, like if it just wasn't exciting enough, if it wasn't holding their attention. Yeah, they'd send in the clowns then too. So.
Yes. Well, that brings us to the the main event, which is the movie that Nomi's going to see next week. So my question is, Nomi, are you hanging out with 300 Mirrors? Are you guys like going to go buy some popcorn and stuff and have like a home movie experience, or is there like a family owned theater that's showing it, and showing retro movies, which I think is totally cool. I'd love to have a movie theater like that, but I don't think it's practical with streaming and stuff these days. I probably wouldn't make a dime.
Yeah, a home in theater sounds a little much. I don't have that. No, I'm gonna be hanging out with someone. We're gonna be watching a movie, and it's just gonna catch up on a list of movies I haven't seen. I showed this friend of mine this list and didn't like what he was seeing, and he's like, "No, we're gonna have to watch this." I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I know there'll be snacks because I'm a snacky person.
Good night,
Bye,
Carrie.
Carrie.
Good night, Scary.
But yeah, I'm a snacky person, and that's what I have planned for next weekend.
By the way, Nomi, I'm gonna add to that list. There's a video game, a PC game called Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yes, I know. I'm gonna watch the movie. That's the one I am looking forward to. I do want to see that.
My kid really likes that stuff. I don't know. I never got into it.
I want to get a PC so I can play the game.
There's, it's funny thing too, because the first one, I mean, you just see the electronics get to you, and that's spooky enough. But then there's a version of it where they're like destroyed, and they look demonic, and instead of them being and instead of you being a security guard at the actual, at the restaurant, right, or whatever it is, like it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. You're actually, I think you're actually a 10-year-old boy, and they're in your house.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. That version.
I saw a guy play it, and that was a bad idea, and I mean, I had nightmares.
The nightmares, the jump scares, it gets you.
Yeah, I was like, man, I never should have watched that.
Yeah.
I guess if I was gonna, so Nicolas Cage put out a movie 2 years ago. I forget what it was called exactly, but it's basically built on that same principle of a guy gets hired to do some cleanup work at an old place that's like Freddy's or Chuck E. Cheese's or whatever, and the animatronics come alive and try to kill him. And Nicolas Cage doesn't have a single word of dialogue in the movie. It's just him fighting off these things. I haven't watched it yet though, but because it's just like, all right, whatever.
Sounds like a total Nick Cage movie.
Willy's Wonderland. Thank you. One. Yeah, it's called Willy's Wonderland. And yeah, it's essentially what had been described to me as Five Nights at Freddy's, except it's not a little kid; it's a grown-ass man who can handle himself. Yes, I don't know. I wasn't really interested in that. I probably won't be watching this either. I haven't played any of the games that,
you should watch the movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna organize a home movie night with my loving special wife. I'm gonna get some popcorn, some candy and stuff, and enjoy our home while we still have it before we move to better pastures.
Zillage. If you're talking about Willy's Wonderland, I think that one. Willy's Wonderland is out. It's
no, that I'm talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Five Nights comes out next weekend.
Next week.
Yeah. But if you're talking about the other one, I think you can find it on a number of different streaming sites right now, like Hulu and Amazon. So I don't know. I kind of want to watch it because I've been on this Nick Cage kick. I don't know if I told you guys this, but recently, this last weekend, I watched the single most Nick Cage movie of all Nick Cage movies of all time. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's crazy because he plays himself, but like an exaggerated version of himself, and he gets embroiled in this war with these drug kingpins, these criminals over in Spain. But the whole time he's just trying to write a movie with his new buddy who's played by what's Lily's favorite dude was in The Mandalorian?
Pedro Pascal.
Yes, him. So he becomes buddies with Cage, and they're writing a movie together. And every time they come up with an idea or a scene, they're going through exactly what they're talking about. It's like they're like, "Hey, we should do a great big drug scene and all this stuff," and they're high as shit on mushrooms. And there's this whole scene where they're running away, and they're from perceived danger, which is not real danger, and they come to a wall, and Pedro boosts Nick up, and he's like, and he reaches down to pull him up, but he's too heavy, and he can't get him, and he's like, "You're just gonna have to leave me go." And he's like, "I'll never forget you." And he jumps down to the other side, and he starts crying because he left his friend behind. And here comes Pedro around the side of the wall, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Nick." And he's like, "Wait, what happened?" He's like, "Yeah, I just walked around." As it turns out, it's a short wall. It's a fucking great movie. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Right. So okay. So let's do this. Because since Nomi has not seen the thing, um, let's not go into all the details. I don't want to spoil it for her, but we can end the show by doing this, and we'll see what you say, Samuel. Because I don't think this is going to spoil it for her. 13 fascinating facts about the thing. So as much as you like the movie, apparently, number one, it was a flop with audiences, and it was partly ET's fault.
At the time, yeah, that was true. It became a cult classic. It's very popular now, but it wasn't always. Yeah. Yeah, when it came out, and it came out right about the same time that ET did, and ET was a massive hit for a minute. But it was enough to like basically screw everybody else at the box office. It came out around that same time.
Well, everyone but Friday the 13th, if you remember last week's quiz. I'm not, even when I checked that, even when I got that fact off the internet, I'm still skeptical of that. I was like, wait a minute, Friday the 13th outdid ET. I'm not sure I buy that, but that's what they were saying, so I just went with it. But yeah, no, I think if ET wasn't out, I think that I think the thing would have completely killed at the box office. It definitely.
I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
I think that it had a potential to do so. I think you're right about that. But I think because, like you were saying, that Friday the 13th did banger numbers at the time, right? And it did. But Friday the 13th is not what you would call a very deep movie, right?
No.
It's popcorn fun. It's you go to this thing, you have a great time, but you don't have to think too much about it. The thing is actually quite cerebral, and its pacing is much slower. At least in the beginning of the movie, for the first like third of the movie, it's much slower than the Friday the 13th was, because it requires you to pay attention and it requires you to think. Whereas Friday the 13th didn't, and audiences were still really into not thinking when they go see a thing.
That's
so
true.
I think that probably hurt their box office numbers too. Luckily, people gave it a chance later, and it became the cult classic that it is. But yeah, and yeah, there's shocking like moments in it that happen real suddenly and all that stuff, and there's stuff like that in it. But it's really more about the suspense than anything else.
And here's the thing too, and John Carpenter right here, he's saying it didn't just tank, but apparently he lost a job. People hated him. They said they called him horrible and violent, and he put and I was. But now here we are 31 years later, and here you are filling the theater. So I mean, given the movies that were out around the same time, I mean they weren't saying that about Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I mean, Friday the 13th. When was the last time you watched the original?
Oh shoot, it's been decades, man.
Yeah. So it's bloody, but it's bloody in a slasher movie kind of way. It's actually not that. And for 1980, whatever, 82, I think, it's not as bloody as it could be. There's like, they show stuff, but it's still, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the shock of the death rather than the gore of the death, So it's, and by comparison to later movies, it's really not that graphic at all. So whereas The Thing has moments in it that are, what's the best word here? Off-putting.
Gross, disgusting.
Off-putting.
Yeah. they make you kind of feel a little icky. You know? It's very effective at what it does. But it's the kind of thing that, you know, especially at the time, that would, I mean, you got to consider too how we have, as an audience, become more desensitized in the last 40 years.
Right.
Right. So things that would have been shocking at that time no longer have the same effect on modern audiences because we expose kids to way too much shit way too early. And so when they see this, and I'm still like, I watch a lot of reaction channels. So, and a lot of them have done that movie, especially around this time of year. And I've watched most of those reactions. And it's always funny to watch the younger reactors react to this because they're just like, because it's not like anything they've seen before. You know, number one, there's not a drop of fucking CGI in the movie. It's all practical, and it's brilliantly done.
Well,
And that
yeah, it must be because look at what this critic said. John Carpenter's The Thing is a foolish, depressing, overproduced movie that mixes horror with science fiction to make something that is fun as neither one thing or the other. Sometimes it looks as if it's inspired to be the quintessential moron movie of the 80s, a virtually storyless feature composed of lots of laboratory concocted special effects with the actors used merely as props to be hacked, slashed, disemboweled, and decapitated, excuse me, finally to be eaten and then regurgitated as, guess what, more laboratory concocted special effects. So yeah, the very thing that you just said that they got praised for, I mean, it did its job. It was off-putting. He got the reaction he asked for.
Yeah, it absolutely did. I think that dude missed the point of the movie. You know, and I think that is one of the issues that I do have with it is because of the pacing and because of the cerebral nature of most of it. When you have those like those briefs, they're not very long scenes, but the scenes that are real shocking and like real like holy fuck, right? They tend to clash a little bit with the tone of the rest of the movie. I mean, just a little bit. It still works, you know, and I think it's very, very effective. And I think actually the clash can kind of lend itself to the experience a little bit. But I think that he focused on that part and it put the rest of the movie kind of out of his mind. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's like all he saw was the special effects and how gross that was. He didn't really have much to say about the rest of the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the fact is man, critics have always been idiots, frankly. Yeah. And if any of them are out there listening, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. You're most these days you're all paid shills anyway. You know, you get paid 50 fucking measly bucks to put out a good review of shit movies on Rotten Tomatoes, a site that we know is compromised. You know, and so to hell with you. And even back in the day, you know, they were. There's a reason that the term Oscar bait came around, right? It's like, this is what the critics will like. This is what the Academy will vote on, right? These are not movies that the general audiences are told that these are wonderful things. And yes, some of them will agree, right? But most of the time you watch the Oscar movies and they don't have mass appeal. And mass appeal is what's needed if you want to be fucking successful, honestly. You know, and the thing, I'll admit, does not have mass appeal. It's a niche thing. It is. It's a niche kind of deal that found its audience later, like all cult classics do. But in a lot of cases, yeah, you get these guys come along who, you know, are real pretentious about the whole thing. Oh, I know film. I know all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you might know all kinds of stuff about the technical aspects of film, but you don't know a goddamn thing about what the average moviegoer wants to see. You don't. So maybe sit back and shut the fuck up. Sorry, I don't like critics.
No, you're fine. I think they got the point. We know it's not a remake, so we'll skip that. A double amputee was used to create the film's quintessential special effect. So the chest chomp, often referred to as the chest chomp.
Yeah. That was kind of a brilliant piece of special effects. I mean, essentially what they did was they made a mold of the main actor's, the guy playing the character's face, and they just sort of put it over the face of an amputee who was about the same height and build as he was, and that's how they achieved the armless look without using like, you know, a lot of green screen or having to edit a lot of stuff out. I mean, they had to put like, you know, a bunch of makeup on his nubs. It made it look like dude's arms just got bitten off, and it was really, really well done, because if you're watching it, you got to look real close to find the edit, and it is there, but it's done so seamlessly that you almost don't even, like, you wouldn't notice if you didn't know it was there. You know, it's done very, very well. It's a very cool effect.
Yeah, it says that with this special effect, the person did work on RoboCop, Total Recall,
Mm-hmm.
7, and Fight Club. So yeah, I mean, for their time, RoboCop and Total Recall, their special effects were outstanding for their time. Now you go back and you look at Total Recall's special effects now, and you can't help but laugh.
Well, that's just because we've gotten used to a different kind of special effects too, I think. I mean, ever since you know, the late 90s, when CGI became prevalent, like prior to that, it was really just Lucasfilm and James Cameron using it.
Yeah.
You know, and they basically invented the technology between the two of them. But you know, when they started becoming cheaper to use and more widespread, you know, initially it was just like, oh, okay, so it's too expensive to do this in practical, so we'll just try and do it in CGI and all that. And it was a minimal thing, but it got more and more relied upon until that's all we see now. So we're used to seeing certain kinds of things. We look back and we see that, like when they're in Total Recall on the surface of Mars and their eyes are bugging out of their heads. I still think that holds up personally, but I could see where somebody would disagree. You know, so I don't know. It is interesting that this dude worked on 2 Verhoeven movies, though.
Yeah. They put prosthetic forearms consisting of wax bones, rubber veins, and jello. I can only.
They were innovative as fuck, too.
Yeah. A skin-like mask was taken from the mold of Dicer's face, a la Hannibal Lecter, and placed on the guy's arms into the chest cavity, where a set of mechanical jaws clamped down on them. As the actor pulled his arms away, the jello arms severed below the elbows. The rest is practical effects history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, we can skip over makeup effects icon Stan Winston unless you know about Stan Winston.
Yeah, it's a good thing, Nomi, that you do know a little bit of the pop culture stuff about this movie, about what you know is just out there in the pop culture, because this scene is kind of a big shock if you hadn't seen it before, and we just kind of gave the whole thing away.
Yeah, even though you said you weren't going to give me spoilers, but you know.
Sorry.
I just realized that I did that. I do apologize.
Well, let's do this one. Kurt Russell almost killed himself with a stick of dynamite.
Nice.
Yeah. There was a lot of dynamite in this film, and they were using the real stuff. You know, it's no effects like practical effects.
Yeah, that's smart.
Well, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to skip over that because it did have some details on there that I don't think Nomi wants to see. One thing I've always
there is in fact always room for jello.
But yeah, and one thing I've always respected about John Carpenter is the fact that he does the musical score for his his movies. I've always liked that.
Did it for this, did it for Halloween, did it for Starman.
Yep. The U.S. camp and the Norwegian camp were one and the same. Of course they were. You want to save some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't actually in Antarctica when they filmed this.
Rob Bottin was sensitive about his creatures. Well, I would imagine that. I mean, if he, special effects, all the work he put in, that's a given.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carpenter feared that audiences might laugh at the film. Why?
I think that's something that I've heard that's said about him before with other movies too. I think he's just got this
anxiety,
kind of imposter syndrome. Like, oh my god, I made a thing, and what if they hate it? Kind of shit. I think he's just got that artist temperament. because I've heard that about him before and not about this movie. In the case of Ghosts of Mars, though, he was fucking right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not a good movie.
No, it wasn't. Carpenter Fear. Okay. Stop motion sequence was filmed but never made it into the final cut. Is this isn't the one where that was Event Horizon where a whole
Yeah.
didn't like the director's cut went missing, like the whole 30 minutes was cut out.
They cut the majority of the sequence with the blood orgy, which was done on a screen with grainy footage kind of effect, so that even the characters in the movie weren't clearly seeing everything that was going on, but they did cut out that scene did go on for about a minute and a half longer than it actually does in the film. But apparently the test audiences were very upset with it, so they cut a lot of that out.
Yeah, I can only imagine why.
Well, they hired a bunch of porn stars and amputees and dumped buckets of fake blood on them. Like it was a graphic scene.
Makes you wonder what was running through their head. An alternate ending was filmed just in case. But just in case of what?
I have heard that, and I don't want to talk about this too much because it is the end of the movie. But I had heard that there was an alternate ending, and I'm glad that they didn't use it. I don't know what the alternate ending is, and if I did, I probably wouldn't say right now anyway.
Yeah, and I'm seeing down here that it actually tells you what the alternate scene is.
Yeah, so no, he's mad.
I'm not mad.
We gave away too much.
I know. I'm just
sorry.
staring at you guys.
It's like, I'm not mad. I'm just staring holes in your head with the eye daggers.
It's okay. Like, I'll still have to see it for the first time. I'll still have fresh eyes for it. So
Well, here's the thing too, Naomi, is that there's a lot that we did not say. So the movie is really not ruined for you. It's really not. There's a whole lot that we didn't say.
One is right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you.
Does one have a channel?
Yes, actually.
Hey, one, put your channel in the chat. One's funny.
Here, I'll link it in just a second. But sincerely, know me that it got away from me. It was not my intention to spoil anything.
Don't worry about it. You're okay. You're perfectly fine.
I don't like it when people spoil shit for me, and so I do apologize. It goes that way sometimes.
Just
Shouldn't,
a little bit,
but it does. All right, this is one's channel here in chat. Yep. Okay. Good. That. Let me make sure that link works. Sometimes the hot links, if they're just okay, good. Yeah, that one works. Sometimes they don't work so good.
Yeah, it works.
So
yeah, I just checked it and subscribed.
Yep. So if anybody wants to go check out one's channel, there it is in the chat. I know that she's hilarious as shit in our chats, so I think we should all probably be supporting each other anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good stuff. Says
I do drawings on my channel, but not because people are rude and stuff. Hey, you know what? I said the same thing because even though my channel has nothing on it, I am actively preparing material. And as people told me, don't worry about what somebody else says, because not everybody's going to like what you're doing. Somebody's going to always have something to say because everybody has their own idea of how they would do something. I mean, I just looked at your channel. I can't draw at all. If you want to lose all your subscribers, then let me draw something for you. But from what I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with your drawings. In fact, I might have to reach out to you for some drawings. So, but yeah, I mean, the stuff that I'm seeing are very nice. It's a very specific style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that about brings us to a close. Yeah.
Yeah.
For this evening, we coming up on 2 hours here, and I think we've had pretty good discussions aside from my fucking up and exposing the whole of the thing to.
It's all right.
Yeah. It's.
And
You,
then
you
I
say
did a
that,
mess. I did
but I
mess up
hear your
too.
tone.
No, you really don't have to worry about it. And I don't have a tone. You would know if I had attitude or a tone.
Yeah, I know. I do feel bad about it though.
I'm still gonna enjoy. Well, I'll try to enjoy it, but yeah, I'm still gonna watch it.
I think you will. The performances in it are outstanding. Keith David and
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell in particular. But yeah, there's Wilford Brimley is awesome in it. It's a good movie. So and it's all dudes, all manly dudes, doing manly dude things.
Trying to kill the Thing.
Well, yeah, that too. But yeah, it's very much a product of its time in a good way. You know? So, but yeah. All right. Well, now that we're where we are, why don't we go around the corner? Nomi, do you have anything upcoming?
I won't be on Screaming Into the Void tomorrow. I'll be on the Game of Thrones chat. There is a video made. I just haven't posted, but there is a video made, and audio is already done for it. So you'll see it on Monday. Nice. Thursday is Dames and Dorks, our Halloween special.
Yay!
Yeah, on Thursday. And then I won't be here next Friday with you guys. So I have a short week.
Oh, fair enough. And for those who are curious, Nomi, her link to her channel is in the description below, as well as Lawrence Knight's links to both of his channels, and also my Rumble. But I don't really do anything with that. It uploads some stuff from here automatically. But yeah, I kind of have a love-hate thing going on with Rumble right now. So if you want to go over there, cool. If not, don't worry about it. Larry, what do you got?
So as you guys know, next week we're gonna have some fun next week. Tomorrow you can catch me in the chat on the Lioness Exiles channel. Like I said, guys, just bear with me with my channel. I am not forgetting. I'm not slacking. It's just life stuff has gotten in the way, and there's really just keeps pushing back the dates that I've set to do stuff. So like I said, I'm just gonna just keep trucking along and just keep updating you guys. And I do within a month, I do at least want to get one video sooner than later. So that's my goal right now. Is just at least to get one out and then go from there.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I mean, we all have life stuff. I had some major life stuff this week too that is kind of put certain things up in the air a little bit. So, but I mean, life goes on. It is what it is. So luckily I was able to finagle being able to continue doing the shows this week. I would have let you guys know in the chat. I would have let you guys know in the community tab if I wasn't able to do this stuff. But Larry's also set up as an administrator and was capable of running the shows as well. So we were going to give you something one way or the other. It worked out this week. So
yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I've got Screaming Into the Void tomorrow, Star Trek Engage on Sunday. Tomorrow night, I believe Lioness Exile is streaming, so you'll probably find me there as well. And then if all goes well, Mellow Mondays on the Renaissance Nerds channel on Monday. Late Night Mayhem on Dermy Wormy's channel on Tuesday. And yeah. That's about it. That's all I got coming up. I'll probably do some more gaming streams. Got into this game called Lies of P, which I'm enjoying very much. It's a kind of a twisted take on Pinocchio.
Oh yeah, that game gets serious. It gets real serious.
It reminds me a little. So I've been hearing that it's like a cross between BioShock and Bloodborne. Now I played Bloodborne and I've watched BioShock be played, but I'm kind of getting some American McGee's Alice vibes from it too.
Yeah, that's what I get from is Alice.
Yeah, which I've also played. Yeah. So, But I'm enjoying that, so we'll probably do more of that here in the near future, this weekend most likely. So yeah, that's where you can find me and all of my fun times. So thank you to my co-panelists. You guys are awesome as always. Always appreciate hanging out with you guys, even when Nomi looks like she wants to tear my fucking head off.
Go for it, though.
So,
Yeah.
Go for it, no.
So, and everybody in chat, thank you for hanging out. I know it's late. It's, this is the Friday show. We do stay up late, and if you are catching this on the replay, thank you again for watching. We appreciate all of you. Yeah. And other than that, I've got nothing. So have a great night, and remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras.
What is it you pray for?